When I was 8 years old, I was a problem kid. I was slow. So at school, my teachers had a problem with me because I just couldn't work as fast as all the other kids. I was smart enough, but I just I had the perfect handwriting and had to do everything very, very slowly. So the first time I went on a school trip, I learnt something about myself in that everybody else got to go out and play, and I had to stay in and finish my work. And each day of this trip, I fell further and further behind because I just couldn't keep up. But it still didn't make me any faster. And it's just the style that I like to work. I really like to do things slowly and carefully. And even though that didn't work in a classroom setting, well, it didn't really work when I was trying to make as a dressmaker either, because everybody wants everything quick and you have to turn over a lot of garments, a lot of wedding dresses or a lot of corsets if you want to really make a living. So I found another way to make a living, and I made sewing into something that I just do slowly and carefully. I finished this yesterday, and it's just a chemise. It's taken 3 months. And not just because I like to be slow and careful with my work, it's because I only have a little bit of time a day. I really needed to get back into sewing, but I'm running a business full time. And so I needed to find a way to keep going. So I've learnt a lot about patience. Let me show you a few details of this chemise. So this is it. This is based on an original in the Metropolitan Museum, and I've done tons and tons of insertion and lots of little frilly bits of lace that had to be done by hand, silk ribbon, and another frill at the bottom here. This has been an absolute joy to make. And it's been a joy to make for 2 reasons. Partly because it's taught me a lot of patience, because I've had to wait a long time to see the result, but that means also that this was never an intimidating project because I only had 2 hours a day. That was my window I was giving myself. So all I could do each day was another baby step. So I never had to think about the whole project and spending a whole weekend trying to get it done. It was just, I'll do today's little bit. So that made it easier to do. It was also, I love doing things slowly because it kind of counteracts the culture we live in, where everything's go, 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 and needing everything quickly and everything being instant. I had a comment when I posted this on Instagram. I'm Kathy.Hay if you're looking for me. I had a comment that somebody was saying they wish they could do something like this, but you know, times have been hard, life gets in the way, there's stuff happening in her life right now. And I really think that this is what you need the most in hard times, to have something that you go to where you close the door and everything goes away and you're just in that slow breathing. I find sewing meditative. So many people I know think of the sewing as a necessary evil on the way to a new dress or new corset, but I really find it a meditation, and that really helps me in difficult times because it's my anchor. So it anchors me and grounds me. So when times are difficult, however things are going in my life or in my business, if things are upside down, you know, we've had problems recently on Foundations Revealed with hackers. We've been like playing whack-a-mole with hackers, and it's very stressful. But each morning I would come in here and just ground myself and calm myself down. So that's the way to use sewing, I think. It's not another thing to put on your plate that I have to make this thing in time for this event. The way I use it is as an anchor in hard times. So, and it just is such a lovely way to counteract that whole world we live in where everything's so fast, everybody is in such a rush. But when I come in this room and I close the door, all bets are off and nothing else outside exists. So that's how it helps me. So it's teaching me patience. It's teaching me to calm down, and that's why I love it. I know people who will be proud of the fact that they can whip out a dress in 2 days. That's not how I work, and that doesn't have to be the way that you work. Find the reason that you do it. Everybody has different reasons for doing the creative things that they do, but for me, this is why I do it. I've only made one chemise in 3 months. I used to feel guilty about how slowly I work, just like the story I have from way back. I'd been taught to feel ashamed of myself for being slow, but I think it's one of my strengths. So I hope that inspires you and helps you a little bit. My name is Kathy Hay. Leave a comment below and tell me about how you use sewing, what it does for you in your life when it's not just something on the to-do list. And do some sewing this week.